It is very interesting, my friends, what a difference 24 hours can make. Literally within 24 hours, we're seeing green candles left and right, and people seem to be more positive. The sentiment is shifting, and this pump is caused by the relief by the Federal Reserve Bank. After 4 years, they're cutting interest rates, and they have cut them by 50 basis points. 25 basis points were kind of expected and would have been a little bit of a bearish scenario, or already priced in at least, but they have cut it by 50 basis points, which means the market is relieving. I actually listened to the entire presser by Jerome Powell, and obviously he's talking very positive about the economy, which is not the case. A lot of people are suffering and have been hit really, really bad by this extreme inflation, but he's talking positively about getting interest rates down, relieving the economy, and also getting back to a 2% inflation target, which I think we're still not there yet. I also don't think the numbers they're publishing are all that accurate, but it is a sign to the market that the economy is relieving, and that obviously prices in immediately into the risk on assets, which crypto definitely falls into, right? Gold immediately made a pump, and then also crypto, the pump in crypto was more extreme because crypto is a smaller, more volatile industry, generally speaking. But that is great news for the economy in general. Now it's all eyes on the Bank of Japan. They have a meeting this Friday, so that's tomorrow. Arthur Hayes saying, if the Japanese yen is weak, that means Bitcoin is strong. Japanese yen strong means Bitcoin is weak in the short term. So all eyes on that. I think today there's also a meeting by the Bank of England. And overall, also the ECB, they're also cutting interest rates. It feels like we're entering now this economic relief phase after 4 years of economic tightening. And with the elections coming up in 50 days, I think that they're now trying to do everything to pump the markets. Then we also have big announcements. Currently, there is the ongoing Token 2049 conference in Singapore, and one announcement after the others being made. Another one here by Circle. I talked about it on Tuesday, how Circle announced the integration of Sui, the Sui blockchain. So they are natively minting now USDC on Sui. And now they're also announcing that USDC is made available in Brazil and Mexico through national payment systems with local currency. This is another step towards improving the underlying infrastructure and liquidity rails. And I think especially in an upcoming bull run that we're probably going to see towards the end of the year and Q1 of 2025, this is very, very important. We also have Revolut teasing that they might be issuing a stablecoin of its own. Revolut, one of the largest financial service providers out there, and Revolut launching a stablecoin would not only be ultra bullish, of course, but also not that unrealistic. And I think a lot of people are not really aware that PayPal already has a stablecoin in production that has $722 million roughly that's already minted. So PayPal is already in the arena, and other payment providers of financial services like Revolut are just catching up here. So the race is on. PayPal, mostly I think on Ethereum, but they also launched natively on Solana and are scratching on page 1 here on CoinGecko. In other news, PlanB 100 trillion USD has posted this chart here, Bitcoin realized price, saying 60K is the new 10K, a matter of time before it explodes upwards in his opinion. This is the guy I think who developed the stock to flow model in Bitcoin, which was accurate until it wasn't. So obviously those are just projections and probabilities. But I think he's one of the deepest analysts when it comes to the Bitcoin chart and factoring in a lot of macro developments and also on-chain developments. Sentiment-wise, I would fully agree that 60K is the new 10K. And you could really tell how people were panicking when Bitcoin went below $60,000 and thought it's the end of the world and everything is now going to zero. Max fear, max frustration, max panic. So I subscribe to that statement. I also think that 100K BTC is not that far away. And obviously that would also then sooner or later affect the altcoin market, right? Altcoins are not going down forever. We had the exact same in 2020 when Bitcoin went on a rally first. It's always happening like that until it reaches a point where people are saying, okay, altcoins are dead. This is it. It's Bitcoin only. Everything else is a scam. And that's exactly the point where the script flips and altcoins start running and massively outperform Bitcoin. It will happen again. I'm very, very certain of that. And my thesis is that altcoins will massively outperform Bitcoin this bull cycle. Besides Token 2049 happening in Singapore right now, we also have Singapore's DBS Bank to roll out Bitcoin and Ethereum options trading, which means more and more adoption, more volumes, more liquidity rails, more onboarding, which is good to see. Now, before we get into interchain news and look into some of the price developments in the Cosmos ecosystem, which there's some spicy bounces happening right now, I also want to share this major announcement by Solana Mobile. Solana Seeker was announced. A new version of their mobile phone, which looks really, really cool, to be honest, is Web3 native. Very cool announcement, and I think overall this drives more adoption for crypto in general, right? And I keep saying this, in my view, crypto is not chain A versus chain B or ecosystem A versus ecosystem B. It's actually crypto versus TradFi versus the traditional rails, the centralized rails, and it's actually decentralization versus centralization. And I think we're still all in the same boat after all. Now, looking into the Cosmos ecosystem price developments, the interchain, we're seeing double-digit relief bounces left and right. Kava leading the pack up 26%. Saga at $2.40 now. This was below $1 just a couple of weeks ago. Another 24% up today. Say Network 23%, and they're in the midst of their first unlocks. Celestia TIA 22.43%, $6.32, with the unlocks just being 5 weeks away. And also Dymension up 18.5%. And overall, double-digit relief. Zeta Chain, which is also one of the new chains, up 12%. Injective, 10%, back above $20. Osmosis, back above 50 cents. Even Atom, up 8%, $4.47. So good to see this relief, well-deserved. It's a big sign of life for the interchain and Cosmos ecosystem. And to be honest, I think Cosmos season is coming before the year ends. We're going to see a massive Cosmos rally, and I'm prepared for it, and I hope you too. dYdX just announced to launch perpetual futures on a prediction market, which means that dYdX is expanding the product offering, and they have a lot of things cooking right now. And as a Cosmos SDK Layer 1 blockchain and app chain for perps, dYdX is one of the flagship Cosmos ecosystem projects there are. Launching a predictions market would also put them in the competitive bucket with Polymarket, who is currently the leader of on-chain prediction markets and has a $450 million trading volume in August alone. dYdX, on the other hand, had $21.2 billion, so them entering the prediction markets arena would potentially have a huge impact. And considering that the elections are in 7 weeks' time, I think this product would have huge demand, especially in the very, very short term. And we have another major announcement from the Cosmos ecosystem, Noble announcing the launch of EURe by Monerium. Monerium is a fully regulated and authorized collateralized euro stablecoin that is MiCA compliant. MiCA is the regulatory framework in Europe, and Noble is a full-on Cosmos SDK blockchain. Currently, Noble has the permissioned validator set. With Cryptocito, we're one of the validators. It's going to be interesting to see what security model Noble will also choose moving forward. If you're unfamiliar with EURe, then check out this chart, because they have actually massive liquidity, $1.7 billion, most of which deployed on Ethereum, Gnosis, and Polygon. And now Noble has also entered the arena. So good to see more and more stablecoins. Next, I want to share two major reports that we have dropped here at Cito Research. The first one being a full-on mega deep dive on the Rune tokenomics, Thorchain's native token, the Rune token, which covers everything from the Rune protocol itself, Thorchain's history, Rune's utility, Rune's value accrual as well. Also the tokenomics itself in terms of max supply, circulating supply, the burn mechanisms that they have, the entire Rune token distribution, how much went to seed run investors, pre-sale investors, the IDO, team and advisors, all these kind of things, unlocks as well, which is very, very important, the rich list for Rune, and so on and so forth. You can read it here on Twitter at Cito_zone, or you can go on Cito.zone/Cito-research, and you'll find this article here also fully broken down with tabs on the side so you can easily navigate. We also published another article about Polaris, which is a new token portal that was announced by Osmosis. So it's a new product that will not have its own token, but is fully Osmosis aligned and basically fulfills the interchain DEX vision that Osmosis has since day one pretty much. This will be formally announced tomorrow or the day after tomorrow at Solana Breakpoint. Solana Breakpoint also happening in Singapore. And yeah, they will be sharing announcements. I think Sunny has a keynote speaking slot and will unveil formally Polaris to the world at Solana Breakpoint. Next up, we also have another major announcement, actually also by Osmosis, which is the integration of ckBTC, which brings another decentralized version of Bitcoin to the IBC economy. This has been developed by Dfinity, formerly known as Internet Computer. ICP is the ticker. Dfinity was actually the name they had way before they launched. I think they just now went back to Dfinity. And also Omnitein Network, formerly known as Octopus Network. They did a full rebrand as well, have been around for a long time. And yeah, good to see this integration. They will both, by the way, also be at Cosmoverse. More announcements coming very, very soon. But this is good to see Osmosis is now also more on the map outside of the Cosmos ecosystem and doing those integrations with other assets. Another major announcement by Celestia, the Lemongrass upgrade is now live. We talked about it before it went live. Now it's here. One-click interactions over IBC, interchain accounts, and much more. Lemongrass is the first upgrade on the Celestia mainnet ever since they launched almost a year ago. Sticking around with Celestia, we also have another announcement, which is Prism _XYZ, which is a verifiable authentication standard for private messaging, bringing privacy to the Celestia ecosystem as well. And I think the more rollups we see launching on Celestia, the more adoption, the more product market fit, the more value accrual, this will stream upwards to Celestia and the TIA token. And in fact, if you look at this chart, you can see that Celestia is about to overtake Ethereum when it comes to being a data availability provider. The market share is pretty much 50-50 right now between Ethereum and Celestia. And this is with a lot of the applications not even being live yet. Initia, for example, is not live yet. Switching gears to the Cosmos Hub, but sticking around rollups, we have a new product announcement, a new product idea announcement, I should say, by Noam Cohen, who works at Binary Builders. I think he previously worked at the Interchain Foundation and now works at Binary, which is partially also still funded by the ICF, but its own kind of organization. And Noam announced Halo as an atom-powered rollup framework. This is a very long and also kind of technical article. I'm not going to dissect it in today's video, but we're working on a more in-depth script and coverage for Halo itself. But he's basically breaking down that one of the biggest challenges for kind of the app chain thesis and Cosmos, the Internet of Blockchains vision in the first place, is that app chains are just expensive, which is why he's proposing Halo as a consumer chain to the Cosmos Hub to run decentralized shared sequencers to provide censorship resistance and liveness guarantees to rollups. And according to Noam, Halo would perfectly fit into the product offering the Cosmos Hub currently has, which is smart contracts deployed on Neutron or Atomos, for example, on the one hand, and interchain security, which means being fully atom secured on the other hand. And Halo sits in between by providing another kind of value offering for products in the interchain. This is the current status and timeline for Halo. They're currently waiting for funding approval by the Atom Accelerator, the ADAO. They have submitted a grant proposal there. And then we would see mainnet launch in Q3 of next year. Expect more coverage in the coming weeks, but Halo aims to be fully Atom aligned, not have its own token, but rather be using Atom. So the question also goes to you. If you're an Atom holder, what are your thoughts on this? Your initial kind of reaction? Obviously, go through this blog post before you kind of share your ideas, but your feedback is much needed here for Halo. Moving over to airdrops, Saga has done another snapshot. We talked about it on Tuesday, and I reminded you guys to make sure that you're staking, compounding your Saga tokens, because the snapshots usually occur very, very promptly after the distribution for the previous round, and that happened late last week. Now we're seeing the new snapshot has been taken, I guess, yesterday at 5 p.m. here in Dubai time. So hopefully you will be eligible for the next round. At $2.40, Saga is not bad, to be honest. The early airdrops are probably turning out to be pretty decent ones, and the more you stake, the more you get. So and that is the whole concept about rewarding loyalty for the Saga community. Then we also have another announcement by Mantra, Omtober loading. Mainnet launch is potentially going to happen next month. Mantra is also one of the headline sponsors and tokenization or RWA track lead at Cosmoverse, which is happening in late October. So maybe they'll have it ready by then. We'll see. But I think definitely we have some major announcements at Cosmoverse, around Cosmoverse. So keep your eyes peeled for that. There's also going to be a 50 million OM token airdrop for the Cosmos community. So make sure that you also participate in the ongoing testnet and bookmark Mantra Chain on Twitter. Then we also have an announcement by Dymension. The 3D playground is now live on testnet, which means permissionless Rollup deployment, much needed for Dymension. I think so far we only seen 2 rollups going live, and this would unlock a lot of the capabilities of Dymension and potentially launch a new era. Lastly, I also want to invite you to check out Cosmos NYC. We're doing Cosmos New York City, the first event in New York, just a day before Messari Mainnet kicks off. And you can just sign up here on our Luma. I'm going to leave a link below this video. And then you will be able to meet some of the cosmonauts. There's a lot of Cosmos builders. New York is actually one of the capitals for Cosmos founders and teams. I'm going to be announcing the speakers lineup in the coming days, but this event is also more focused on the networking aspect in a casual environment just a day before Mainnet kicks off. Anyways, that's it for today. A lot of things are cooking, a lot of things are being announced. So we might be seeing an early October rally leading into October. And then hopefully throughout the whole month, we're going to see more pumps across the board. Obviously, it's not the time to get too euphoric yet. We just seen this one pump after the rate cuts were announced. Obviously, Japan has this big meeting tomorrow, so we're going to see how that plays out. And there's always something that can happen, right? But the bottom line is we deserve this rally, we deserve this relief. And I think especially in Cosmos, we deserve these major bounces from Celestia, Dymension, Saga, Zeta Chain as well. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys very soon here in Cryptocito. Until then, stay safe and be good.